Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, June 18th. Well, the upper level low that has been spinning over the Carolinas over the past few days is finally making a move to the north and west, and it will produce unsettled conditions in the Mid-Atlantic region, not only today and tonight, but for the next few days as well. In fact, the threat of showers and thunderstorms that is now returning to the Mid-Atlantic region looks like it'll stick around not only through the weekend, but likely well into next week. In fact, we may have to deal with another deep upper level low that crosses the Great Lakes by the middle of next week and perhaps expands into the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. by the latter part of next week. So a long stretch of unsettled weather in much of the eastern third of the nation, and that follows a very nice stretch of weather that we've had over the past several days in places like Philadelphia, New York City, all the northeast U.S. with comfortable temperatures and humidity levels. Let's start off by looking at an imagery loop in the IR band, and this shows us well where the upper level low is right now. In fact, you can see a little circulation right over West Virginia as we speak this Thursday morning. That is the upper level feature right in this area right here. It was spinning over the Carolinas over the last few days, producing some heavy rainfall in North Carolina and South Carolina, all the way up into southwestern Virginia and even West Virginia. It has moved to the northwest over the past 24 hours, and bands of showers are rotating around it, and this will really be a diurnally driven type of a rain event in the Mid-Atlantic region over the next several days. By that I mean the daytime heating will be kind of a requirement as a catalyst to regenerate these showers and thunderstorms. Again, it looks like the threat of rain will be highest in the afternoon and evening hours, not only today, but for the next several days in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, all partly as a result of that upper level feature. Another big weather story in recent days is occurring out in the northern plains and the interior northwest. A very cold air mass for this time of the year. And this area of very high clouds and some heavy showers and thunderstorms associated with a strong cold frontal system. Unusually cold air dominates still this morning across places like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, even Utah, where they have had some significant snowfall. That's right, significant snowfall in the past few days. Places like southwestern part of Montana had several inches of snow, in Glacier National Park, for example. A continuation of colder than normal conditions out there. This strong cold frontal system will actually tend to wash out as it slides across the Great Lakes over the next few days, but another reinforcing a shot of colder than normal air will push across the northern plains and Great Lakes by the middle part of next week, and perhaps all the way into the eastern part of the nation by the latter part of next week. So two big weather features here. This closed upper level low is now opening up and moving a little bit to the northwest, and that will plague the Mid-Atlantic region over the next couple of days. And this area out here where there's a very cold air mass behind strong cold frontal system now situated over the northern plains. Well, here's a radar loop from WSI's Intellicast.com, and those two features show up well in terms of radar echoes. First of all, you kind of see bands rotating around this upper level low. Again, it's sitting over West Virginia right now, and there are bands. These bands of showers and embedded thunderstorms will expand in coverage once we get some daytime heating here over the next few hours. Expect wider coverage of these radar echoes and more intense radar echoes as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. And again, let me emphasize, that will be the pattern over the next several days in the Mid-Atlantic region. A higher chance of showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening hours, as this is a kind of a diurnally driven type of weather pattern. Lesser chances in the overnight and morning hours. Not zero, but lesser chances in the overnight and early morning hours. Again, once we get a few hours of daytime heating, that destabilizes the atmosphere, and with that upper level low hanging aloft, that will help to produce afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, out across the northern plains, There's that strong cold frontal system right now edging into Minnesota. And look out here, you still can see some blues out across the Rockies. That is snow falling at this hour. About to begin the season of summer here, but still some snow. And again, they've had some significant snow in places like Montana, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming over the past couple of days. Well, let's take a look at last night's 6Z operational run of the GFS. We're looking at 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps. Again, two big features here we're monitoring. The upper level low right here situated over West Virginia. It was spinning over the Carolinas the past 24 hours. It's finally beginning to edge to the north. Meanwhile, very chilly air for this time of the year out across the interior Rockies. Let's move forward here and watch what happens. This low very slowly edges to the north. Here we are now by tomorrow morning. Still showing up here over West Virginia, maybe western Pennsylvania. It is weakening a little bit, but nonetheless, cooler than normal air in the upper part of the atmosphere will combine with daytime heating to create instability during the afternoon and evening hours, forming some showers and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, here's another deep upper level trough showing up on the maps in the southwestern part of Canada by early tomorrow. Let's move forward here. Again, still some signs of what remains of that upper level feature here as we begin the weekend. Again, we have a daily threat of showers and thunderstorms right through the weekend in the mid-Atlantic region into the first half of next week, primarily afternoon and evening. And let's watch what happens out here. We have another deep upper level trough moving into the northern plains. Here we are now by Monday morning, and this is another cooler than normal air mass, and it very slowly works its way across the Great Lakes by the middle part of next week, and then by the latter part of next week it could result in a frontal system moving into the eastern states, let's say around Thursday of next week, and that too will have a decent chance of having some showers and thunderstorms. And one of the things that will happen between these two upper level lows is that really helps to prevent a sustained period of hot weather in the mid-Atlantic region. It looks like it'll be hard pressed to get 3 or more days of 90-degree type weather in places like DC, Philadelphia, New York City over the next week to 10 days or so, given the upper level low now spinning over West Virginia, and this next one that will be sliding into the eastern third of the nation during the latter part of next week. It's not out of the question that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday hit 90 degrees in some parts of the I-95 corridor region, but after that it ought to cool down a little bit. And again, these two upper level features keep it unstable enough to help to prevent or certainly inhibit sustained hot weather, and that's something that is rather typical as we head into the latter stages of June to get that hot weather. So this is welcome relief in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the Northeast U.S. and the Great Lakes. Well, let's now walk through the surface forecast maps. And one thing the models, not only GFS here, but the European as well, are really emphasizing the diurnal nature of this wet pattern here over the next few days. And I'll point that out as we walk through these maps. This is as we begin the day. Notice kind of a limited area of green here, but then as we go through the afternoon and evening, look at it, it kind of expands in coverage. That's this afternoon into the evening. Meanwhile, strong storms out here over the northern plains. Then it tends to die down a little bit in the overnight hours. Again, diurnally driven type of weather pattern here. Not much going on tomorrow morning, Friday morning, but then once again expands in coverage during the afternoon. And this is a believable thing here being produced by the models. Again, I think it kind of requires some daytime heating as a catalyst here to create instability to help expand in coverage showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon and evening. Then once again it dies down in the overnight hours going into Saturday. Not much going on Saturday morning, but here we go again. By Saturday afternoon, evening, it expands in coverage, and the same pattern will continue into the overnight hours going into Sunday, starting off relatively dry, but then some showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon and evening. At that time, we'll start to look upstream, and here we go by Monday morning and then Monday afternoon, kind of again more predominant showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon and evening hours, and then starts to show a much more organized system here by the early part of next week over the northern plains, and indeed low pressure over the Great Lakes by next Tuesday. We'll have a cold frontal system trailing, and that front works its way into the eastern U.S. GFS has it coming through on Wednesday, may hold off a day or so, let's say maybe into Thursday of next week. We'll have a frontal passage to deal with here in the eastern U.S. So an unsettled weather pattern has certainly returned to the mid-Atlantic region. More humidity and a daily shot of showers and thunderstorms, not only today and tomorrow and this weekend, but right through the first half of next week, and it may not be until that next frontal passage around next Thursday or so that we're out of the woods for that daily chance of showers and thunderstorms, and again primarily occurring during the afternoon and evening hours. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.